Journeying through sucks.
Yes.
Full transparency on my part, it sucks. Sometimes the journey of life is so uncomfortable, and I am just so desperate to be on the other side that I'm sitting there thinking, no, this sucks. I don't want to do this right now. And I have said before, and I'll say again, I feel stupid for feeling that way because I'm not in a season of life that's actually bad. I've been through seasons of life that were really hard, that there was a question of, will I literally survive this? My season of life is nothing like that right now. It's great. And yet I want to be present less in my current journey through life than I did when I was dealing with, am I physically going to survive this medical issue? And that blows my mind. I mean, who else is experiencing this? I'm an adult and I would rather not be doing this right now, but my life is fine.
Yeah. Sometimes being an ostrich seems very appealing. Just put my head in the sand and pretend it's not happening. And I also find it interesting because you were just saying like how your life is good. And I would say generally my life is good, but I have had some big stuff happen. Yeah. Some of it's in the latest blog post where I just share very briefly, like I had a number of like big financial things happen.
Yeah.
And it's like, whoa, how are you going to get through this? And I find that when the storm is raging around me, I don't want to pull out the emotion compass and take a look and see what's going on. I just kind of want to, I want to get caught up in the drama of the storm, as it were. Who cares? Just let yourself get soaked through, even though I don't really necessarily want to be there because it's different than playing in the rain when it's fun. And it's like, oh, it's sunny and there's still this beautiful rain and we can just play and frolic in the rain. It's interesting because I don't want to pull it out and take a look at this compass that says, oh, here's what's going on. And I'm not a sailor, even though I may be slightly dressed like one today.
Yay.
But I don't know what it's like in the midst of the storm. I imagine that they're not just wanting to pause and look at the compass, and yet you need to. I think some ships I've seen actually have a compass built into the part of the helm where you can see it right there, which makes a lot of sense. True. Because it's always present in front of them. But I'm aware that that's not necessarily how I always live. And Rebecca and I talked to you guys about this stuff, but it's very much that we are learning to do the things we talk about. Like we are walking these things out and processing them, and we are learning, take the time and stop for just a few seconds and look at what's going on. Look at what you're experiencing. Look at what you're feeling. Look at what's happening. Rebecca had said to me over the weekend when I was very distraught, and Rebecca said, what if you just do a big brain dump and journal some of this stuff and write it out, and we'll see if some of it we want to use for the blog post. And it was amazing to do some of that. It felt good because instead of it just being like me in my own little journal world, which I love journaling and being in that world, it's still very good in so many ways. But there was something kind of exciting for me about sharing it and knowing that I wasn't just talking to myself. I was talking to all of you.
Yeah.
As well as being very terrifying. Being like, ooh, I don't know if I want to share all these things that's so risky and so vulnerable. And yet, what do we do? So whether you're in a storm or whether it's like, I know there's not a storm, but it still feels like somehow it's not satisfying. That journey, sometimes we want to disconnect from it. And I find myself wanting to pretend it's not happening. And yet I am, and Rebecca as well, we're both pushing ourselves to say, no, we're not going to disengage. We're not going to disconnect, even though we want to. Some part of us wants to, but we're going to stay in it. And we're going to stay present with it. And we have to keep coming back. I don't know about you, Rebecca, but I don't feel present all the time. You're feeling this, you're experiencing this, but almost as a passive experience, where I'm not consciously like tuning into the fact that I'm experiencing it.
Right.
So then when I do take the time to pause and check in with myself, it's like, oh, okay, you're feeling a little bit of this and you're feeling a little bit of this. And today, literally, I had a bunch of things happen, just weren't going as planned. Had to take one of the kids into the doctor, unplanned. They're fine. but it was just like, oh, go check things out. Go get this checked out. And as I'm navigating all of this, I realized it derailed kind of the whole day. Like, here we are. We planned to meet about 3 or 4 hours ago to do this recording.
Yeah.
And it's had a knock-on effect impacting some of my other meetings. And I just stopped and I was like, I'm going to lay down. I literally laid down for about 2 or 3 minutes. Just laid down and I took some deep breaths and I'm just like, okay, I'm not going to think about anything else. I'm not going to think about all the things. I'm not going to think about the grocery list. I'm not going to think about this meeting and this meeting and this. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to think about these other emails I need to send. I'm going to take a deep breath and I just let things kind of relax. And as I did that, it was like, oh, wow, this feels really good to relax. And even though it was only 2 or 3 minutes, I find it helpful for me to relax when I lay down. That's part of why I lay down. And I got up and it was like, okay, I'm going to go do the things. And it felt so much calmer. When I look at the fact that it was 2 or 3 minutes and I look at the amount of calm I felt, it does not seem like that little bit of time should have resulted in the level of calm that I felt.
Right.
That I've then been able to carry out through the rest of the day since then. So,
Yeah.
Rebecca, I don't know. There's a whole bunch of my thoughts. Share some of yours, please.
I love that. I think it's a really good observation. When I'm able to get myself out of the chaos I think I create around me to not pay attention to what's going on inside of me, I find that often just a 2-minute pause to check in, to go ahead and admit what I'm feeling makes a radical difference to my day. And I'm finding that honesty and transparency with myself are having a really big impact on how I journey through. And it sounds funny to say it out loud because I think who wouldn't be honest and transparent with themselves? And yet I think all of us struggle to be honest and transparent with themselves. It's scary to admit to yourself that something is happening, or to admit that you're struggling with something when you think you shouldn't, or to admit that, hey, this season I'm in is actually really hard and I'm genuinely afraid of the outcome. It's terrifying, I think, to pause and admit to myself what I'm actually feeling or experiencing inside. And yet that honesty and that transparency are part of what are helping me to journey through the season. And it isn't that I have the solution. I feel like we're all looking for answers. I want an answer. There should be one answer. Just give me a way to
magic pill.
Yeah. I want to take the magic pill and I want everything to be okay. I haven't found that. for very few things in life have I found that. But I am finding that to be present on my own journey, actually being honest and transparent with myself, letting myself see me. Hey, I'm kind of scared of the fact that I don't know what this looks like, or I'm terrified of the outcome of the situation, or I am realizing that I have some polarization internally. There's a war going on. I should be happy right now, but I'm not. So that means something. There's something wrong with me. Or, well, maybe there isn't anything wrong with me. Maybe I'm just dissatisfied and I actually want to know why. And so the honesty and transparency that, I mean, are so connected to the pause have been a game changer for me in being able to journey through. That I'm not so focused on the end point that I'm ignoring what's going on around me, or the ostrich and I've buried my head in the sand. I love that analogy. It always makes me laugh. Ostriches don't bury their heads in the sand. They don't actually do that. So I find it interesting that analogy exists. I'm like, what's that?
They do in the cartoons.
Yes, they do. That's where it comes from. So I am finding that honesty and transparency are making it not just easier for me to be on my own journey, but they feel like an invitation for the journey to be engaging again. Not scary or overwhelming, or I just want to be numb because I'm adulting. And let's be honest, if anybody told us this is what adulting was like, most of us would not have signed up for it. Even if your adult life is wonderful, there are still aspects of adulting that you're like, no, nobody wants to do that. And so it makes it easier. It doesn't just make it easier. It makes it feel inviting. Like, no, I want to do this. I want to be present on my own journey. I want to figure this out. It has reignited curiosity in me.
Ooh, I like that.
It has reignited I'm really curious to see what it is that's actually causing me to be dissatisfied.
Yeah.
and not scared of it anymore. Just like, wow, well, what is that? Because I bet there's something really interesting underneath there. And I
Yes.
bet, right? And I bet when
Yeah.
I figure out what it is, the impact of knowing is
Yeah.
going to be really interesting to my journey arc, to my story arc, to my
Yeah.
life. And so it's almost like there's this little spark that gets reignited inside of me when I'm curious, when I'm being honest and transparent. And I sit with that discomfort, and then all of a sudden I genuinely feel a little bit like a little kid in my own life again. Oh, what's going to happen next? Oh, I want to turn the page of my own story to see what's on the other side.
Yeah.
Because it's probably going to be interesting.
You can't be afraid when you're curious, because the curiosity pushes out the fear, or the fear pushes out the curiosity, whichever. But when I'm afraid, there's no curiosity. There's catastrophizing, perhaps, but there's no sincere curiosity that's like, ooh, let's go discover. And the openness that comes with curiosity of what is this. And I'm very fascinated by the fact that Rebecca and I are having such similar journey experiences, but very different circumstances and very different situations around them. And I just want to take a moment and validate wherever you're at in your life. It's okay. It's okay in the sense that not just like, oh, we're okay and we're pretending things aren't, but
Right.
Rebecca doesn't have to just look at the evidence in her own life and say, well, I should be feeling this. It's okay to acknowledge I'm not feeling those things. I want to feel that, but I'm not, and I don't know why. Or to look at my situation and be like, oh, that's some really challenging stuff. A part of me wants to ignore the fact that I'm facing challenging things and pretend that's not existing. And yet to allow myself to sit with the sadness of this thing is happening and it's not what you wanted and it's not happening the way you had hoped and it's not pleasant. I'm going to let myself dare to sit in the unpleasantness and the uncomfortableness. And I think it's both sides, whether it's uncomfortable because you have this thing that seems like well, it's logical that you would feel this way versus this other situation that it feels like, well, I shouldn't be feeling this way. Either way, it doesn't matter. Recognizing what you're feeling and allowing yourself the freedom to feel it and then to look behind that, as it were, like Rebecca said, getting into that curiosity of saying, okay, well, what is it that's actually happening in me? What is going on kind of behind the curtain? What's going on back there? Because that begins to open up the door to the peace and the calm. And sometimes you find it's something that's like, oh, well, I just need to help the squirrel that's on the spinning wheel in the cage there. I need to let that out of there so it can go be back in the tree where it wants to be instead of frantically causing mayhem on my insides. And it instantly makes me think of that old Disney movie where they swapped out the engine in a car and they put a squirrel and a thing in there in the engine. There's no engine here. No wonder we're not getting anywhere.
Right.
But there's still frantic energy happening. And this idea of we can accept ourselves where we are without saying we're going to stay where we are. We can accept like, okay, I can understand what's happening, but I can only do that if I actually let myself feel it and let myself be like, okay, I'm not okay with this. All right, why am I not okay with it? And begin to process through. And then that's what helps me to allow myself to unburden that heaviness and release it. So we'll have to keep you posted on how we go as we both are in the process of doing these things.
Definitely.
So Rebecca, any final thoughts that you just want to share with everyone as we wrap up?
I think that there's always an invitation to be honest and transparent with yourself. And this is an invitation today to pause, be honest and transparent about where you are, even if it's uncomfortable, because that can be the initiation point, the starting point to having curiosity and having a spark back in your own life that makes you want to turn the pages, to see where your life is going, even if you have no idea, even if it's uncomfortable. That's worth it.
Yeah.
I think it's worth it.
Well, it instantly made me think when I want to run away from it, but I push myself to face the unpleasant, uncomfortable thing. I might still have that sense of wanting to run away, but as I face it, that begins to diminish and my confidence begins to come up. Like all these other good things come up in me And it's like, oh, we can actually handle this. I can handle this. I can handle this thing.
Yeah.
And, but it takes a certain amount of bravery and courage to face it. And so we encourage you, go ahead and face the thing, even when you don't want to. It's worth it.
Yes.
You are worth it. So
You are.
as always, we invite you to live fully present. And this is part of how you do that. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, guys.